Right, cricket now on ESPN, and you know, whatever happens in the Ashes series this summer, it's hard to imagine England and Australia conjuring up anything to beat 2005. And I don't say that because England won, all right, partly, but the real beauty of that series was the cushion-clawing uncertainty over who would win pretty much right up until the death. Although, if you remember, it didn't really look like being much of a cliffhanger by the end of the first test at Lord's. That's where we're starting, traditionalists that we are. England versus Australia, July the 21st, 2005, day one of the opening test of the Ashes series.
For months now, it seems that the legend of the Ashes has been on our minds. Michael Vaughan leads out England. Listen to this. They say that they couldn't be better prepared. A last word from the captain, urging his troops. They bowl first this morning because Vaughan has lost the toss. The pitch looks ripe for batsmen. Having said that, there are overcast conditions here. It's not the sunny morning that had been predicted. And it just might be a chance for England's powerful seam attack to score a few early points. Now, we wait as nervous batsmen will be coming through this long room. The members will stand and applaud them, as is traditional here. And we will get our first view of Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden, two left-handers who have dominated the game. Here they come. The finest opening pair since the West Indians, Gordon Greenwich and Desmond Haynes, down these famous steps. Gosh, I can't tell you what it feels like here. There's a kind of tingle going through, and electricity perhaps in the atmosphere. This eagerly anticipated series is about to begin. Without further ado, we'll take you to the commentary box. Geoffrey Boycott will be there, but first up, it's Richie Benaud.
Thanks, Mark. Morning, everyone. Test match at Lord's, but it's just a bit more than that. It's one between England and Australia. Tension and the build-up to this game, something I've never before seen, or felt for that matter. And it's a brilliant experience to be here. Those two opening batsmen have plenty of experience at test level and in other international matches, but even they, as they came down those steps at Lord's, will have felt a twinge or two of nerves. Toss to Australia, no doubt straight away Ponting said we'll bat. Now it's the England bowling attack that has to do the job. Justin Langer, Langer's going to take strike as the smaller of the two players. Steve Harmison is the bowler, and at the other end I would like to see Freddie Flintoff. He's the one I'd give the new ball to. Now then, first ball coming up. Umpire signalling to the match referee, calls play. Here's Harmison. Beauty to start with. A lot of jumping around out there this morning. Mike Gatting, who knows this pitch very well, they're saying it's very hard, very well grassed, and there'll certainly be a bit of bounce and pace there. Just understandable, first morning of a test. Looked as though he's in about three minds on what to do with the ball as it looped its way towards him. And that was one of his decisions, and not a very good one. It's got him just fractionally above the elbow. Well, there's a decent old lump straight away. Bit of black and a bit of blue. The multi-coloured job there before another few minutes are gone. He's going to need some sort of what they laughingly term the magic spray. That sometimes hurts more than the actual blow you've just taken. The umpires always get together in a situation like this and determine how long the batsman can have. Now, Errol Alcott is interested to find out whether or not Langer can clench his fist, and that'll mean can he get his hand around the bat. So we've got drama here at Lord's, and only 2 balls gone. This is what happened. Harmison's dropped one in a little bit short. Langer was on him before he could make up his mind precisely what to do with it. Whatever nerves Langer had coming down those steps, there's a few more of them being jangled out there at the moment. It almost looks as though it's been cut. Might have been the stitches got him as well. It's Justin Langer's first Test match at Lord's. He played cricket here for Middlesex and thoroughly enjoyed it, did well. But his first time at Lord's, he came into the Australian side at the end of the 2001 tour, brought him for the last Test match at the Oval. There are a lot of smiles out there, but they'll be a bit forced, I reckon. And all those shouts and cries for England's bowlers to get stuck in. Well, they have done. The game's only 2 balls old. Okay. That's a good answer. There's no great force in the stroke from Justin Langer. It'll take him away from the strike, let him think about it up at the non-striker's end. So 3 balls from Harmison, one that was a good one that Langer just got his bat out of the road in time, the second one that hit him, and then the third that's been picked away off leg stump. Matthew Hayden had a terrific spell of batting about 18 months ago, and it's just gone off the boil a bit at Test level. 3 slips and 2 gullies in, and a short leg. There's no shortage of attack there from Michael Vaughan. And that is a cracker. As good a ball as you'll get in the first over of a Test match. It wasn't a seam-up job. Seam was scrambled, but did enough to go well past the outside edge. given us runs. Jones has not quite got to it.
Yes.
And that has hurried Hayden into his stroke. It's a nerve-wracking over for the Australians. And a good run for Harmison. 9 on the board. Nine on the board now, just 1 over gone. Steve Harmison has bowled it into the commentary box now. Geoffrey Boycott, and very good morning to you, Geoffrey.
Morning, Richie. Morning, everybody. I think the key for England, for me, has been all through this summer, when I've been waiting for the Ashes series to begin, is how well they bowl at left-handers early on. And that may seem a simple statement to say, but it isn't. Some people bowl well at left-handers, some don't. And for Matthew Hoggard, he's got to keep it off the legs, bowling from this nursery end. If you bowl too straight, they'll whip you down the leg side, and it goes very quick down there. You've got to get a good line early on.
Now from the nursery end, Matthew Hoggard. Generally, he's bowling away swingers to the right handers. You've got 2 left-handers in at the moment. If there's any movement in the air there, he'll come back sharply from outside off stump.
Well, that's as perfect first ball as you could bowl. Drawing him forward, outside off stump, that's what you want. And for my money, you need a bat and pad. Yeah, he's going in there, but it's too late, you see. He could have had a wicket first ball. That's putting the horse in the stable after it's left.
Well, there's runs coming. Most of them so far off the edge. But Langer seems okay.
Well, this is played on the up. This is not a half volley, this is not a drivable ball. You see, that ball's on the up. He stood up on the front foot, but not right forward. This is where Matthew Hoggard has to keep his patience here. That's not a bad ball at all. And you know the Australian openers, yes, Michael Vaughan knows it. You know they're going to play shots, so have patience, bowl your line, get some good rhythm, wait for the mistake.
The umpire's just going to have a little look down to see if the bowler's getting on the pitch in his follow through. That's Rudy Crutzen, the umpire. Also, it looked as though Hoggard was scuffing up a little bit of dirt in his actual delivery stride.
Gorgeous delivery. That's it, you just got to bowl your line. They'll make mistakes. If you're patient enough to bowl the line, bowl well. I mean, this is an awful shot. This is a real airy-fairy on the up. If batsmen are going to play like that against you and you bowl well, you feel you've always got a chance as a bowler. Gorgeous delivery.
There's a real mixture for Matthew Hoggard. Now the umpire's going to have another look and this time a little word in his ear, only a polite word I'd suggest. Key to Matthew Hoggard is when he keeps the seam upright on the way down to the batsman. That's when the ball swings for him. That was a mixture. A couple outside leg stump, a couple of good ones. One that might have gone off a thin edge instead of a thick edge. But I'd put that down as ordinary, Jeffrey.
I agree, Rich. There were 3 down leg side, actually. And I think this is where he could improve, Matthew Hoggard. He has the skill to swing the ball and trouble batsmen around the off stump, whether right-handers or left-handers. But in between the really good balls, he bowls too many, which, if I was polite, would say is a bit of rubbish.
Now Harmison's second over. Matthew Hayden has strike. A little bit of movement in the air there for him. Marcus Trescothick. The slipsmen, 3 and 2 gullies. Kevin Peterson. He's not been short of a word or two about all the things that have been happening. Interesting first over from Steve Harmison. It was a good one to Langer first ball. Then got him just above the elbow, and that produced the delay in play. That's why we're now 15 minutes into the game. And then a 3 for Langer, and a beauty to Hayden. Rather odd one there that was given off the bat. It turned out to be an expensive over for Harmison, but could have been just about anything.
Here it comes. Good foul.
Well, that's his reaction to his first over, and I'd agree with that. There was some good stuff, though, in that. There was something to work on. I've always thought with Steve Harmison, except for the odd ball, which he really means to bowl short and get it into the batsman's chest or ribs or neck hole, that's a deliberate short ball. Most of the time, he's about 2/3 of a yard too short.
Oh, that's a beauty, an absolute beauty to finish at 14 for naught after 3 overs. On the board, 3 overs gone, and it's going to be Matthew Hoggard to bowl. Hayden will be taking strike. Now for Hayden, the man at short forward square leg has gone back almost to a short mid-wicket, just for the forcing stroke away of the pads.
Harmison's last ball of the previous over. I was talking about tends to bowl a little short. This is the length he's got to bowl all the time. This is a little fuller, just drawing Langer forward. It's an indifferent shot, but it's a marvellous delivery. It's at that slightly fuller length where the batsman is trying to get forward, but it's not really that far up. It sort of makes him think of coming forward, but he's never quite to the pitch of it. Again, brilliant length by Hoggard. It's can you bowl 6 of those around that length, getting them thinking of coming forward. See, look, that's not a half volley. That's an inside edge off the bat. And I think as a bowler against Australia, you've got to prepare yourself mentally that even when you bowl good balls, these Australian batsmen, they look to attack, they want to dominate you, they want to impose themselves on you. So yes, they will score quick, but they'll give you chances to get themselves out if you bowl the ball well.
There'll be runs for that. 4. Just out of the keeper's reach. And too much leg side stuff from Matthew Hoggard at the moment.
Well, it's a very good ball, and then a sort of indifferent ball. You see, that's pitching about leg stump, and then it moves down the hill, and it's going to miss leg stump. So it's an easy ball to try and whip off your legs. Doesn't matter if it goes off your pads or off the bat, but it's money for old rope, is that?
Well, Hayden will be going crook at that. Beautiful stroke, and hit it tremendous pace straight down the ground and straight into the stumps at the non-stroker's end.
Well, it's a good shot, but I think Hoggard and Harmison deserve a little bit of luck. They have bowled some very good balls that the batsmen have played and missed at and looked uncomfortable with.
One of the things about Matthew Hoggard is when he's bowling his away swingers, which is his normal ball, is he's follow through.
That's the over.
Good stroke, nicely fielded, and good reflexes from Hoggard. Yep, just keep your eye on his bowling hand. He used to have a wide, long sweep away down past his front knee in his follow through. And he's definitely changed that. Big crowd in here at Lord's, and 2.5 hours before the game began, that was the scene. People queuing, waiting for the gates to open so they could rush to get what might be their favourite seats. All tickets were sold the day after they went on sale here many months ago, and people queued. There were some tickets on sale this morning, 150 of them, so it was reported in the print media. And then there was the rush. Once the gates opened, people trying to get in, put down a sweater, a Panama hat, cloth cap, whatever you like. So far there's not been a great deal of swing. Any that has come has been from Hoggard when he's been bowling it down the leg side. But no great amount of late movement. In Michael Vaughan's shoes, Jeffrey, I'd be happier to see the ball moving more in the air. It's we've got the cloudy atmosphere, but no great amount of swing.
There's been a bit for Hoggard, but nothing really for Harmison. I think I'd be inclined to ask Harmison to try one or two around the wicket. He's hit him on the helmet, then, I think. I think he's missed that. It looks a pretty good pitch.
Now, what about my theory about Andrew Flintoff? Jeffrey, I'd give him the new ball with these two left-handers in and have him coming around the wicket. He swings the ball, he's in good form, I reckon he's the best bowler in the side.
Well, I've been saying that for the last week. I think he is the best bowler in the side, and I'm with you. Whoever the best bowler is at the time, give him the new ball. He hardly ever bowls moderately. They're nearly always good, very good, his sessions. He doesn't really have bad sessions. Recently, he's been bowling great. I mean, that's all his 48 matches, but recently he's been better than that 33 average. And I actually think, I was just mentioning about round the wicket, Rich, he bowls the best of the England bowlers from around the wicket. And I think if you can bowl around the wicket well at left-handers, a lot of them don't like it. I think we'll see Glenn McGrath bowl around the wicket. This is Hayden getting clonked on the helmet. I think Glenn McGrath will do that at the England left-handers, and he does it brilliantly.
Well, on the question of Flintoff, I'd do a Miller with Flintoff. What Bradman used to do was throw the ball to Miller as a shock bowler and bat him at number 6. And that's what I'd do with Flintoff. He's a big, strong lad. He can carry the work. I'm not suggesting that he's in the class of Miller, who is a great all-rounder, but Flintoff, in his first test match against Australia, has shown us already that he is a wonderful player, and that's what I'd do.
Well, I don't think you ever needed a player's vote, Rich, as captain, but you get my vote for that.
Short one from Steve Harmison, who's having a unique experience out there this morning, in that this is the first test match where he's bowled the first over of the innings. He's been sharing the new ball with Matthew Hoggard, and they've done that on quite a number of occasions, but the first time they've tossed Harmison the ball and said, "Go for it, son." The way things are after 5 overs, 19 on the board, Langer 8 and Hayden 11. And just going through the team, the Australians chose Ponting at 3, then Martin, Clark, Kadich, Gilchrist, Warne, Lee, Gillespie and McGrath. Jason Gillespie in the side after getting through a fitness test. No ball called, and it's gone for 4. That's a double whammy. If you can think of a list of things the captain would least like, that would be right up the top.
Well, it's a little short, he's dragged it down, and then it seams away from the left-hander, so it gives him room to free his arms. But you've got to keep them under pressure, keep some control. There's that leg side ball. I think at Matthew Hoggard's pace, sort of lively, medium fast, you've really got to be quite accurate. You've got to bowl your balls in a cluster. You don't have a lot of margin for error. You don't quite have the pace of a Brett Lee or Harmison's steeple in bounce, maybe even Flintoff. So you've really got to bowl accurately. You've got to have some patience, real concentration. It's that odd 4 ball he gives away. Bowled.
Very important for Hoggart, being a swing bowler, more than any other aspect, to keep the seam straight on the way down. That's just a bit wobbly. Did come back a bit at Langer, but just a little wobbly, not in a straight line. That's good running. They know one another very well. They've opened the batting for Australia for the past 4 and a bit years. Big crowd in, all tickets gone, and Capacity House promised a warm start to the day, and all that disappeared about half an hour before the scheduled beginning. The temperature dropped about 10 degrees. Not too many sweaters being worn out there, but sun hats are well in evidence. No! 25 for no wicket, 6 gone.
That's over. Okay.
On the board so far, 6 overs gone, and just 1 or 2 moments of indecision for the Australians, but they've gone along pretty well. Langer's 13, Hayden 11, Ponting, Martin, Clark and Katic still to come before you get down to, well, the tail enders like Gilchrist. 6 overs gone. Michael Atherton has moved into the commentary box, and with him is Michael Slater.
Thanks, Richie. Morning, everyone. Fascinating first half hour, I think. 1 or 2 concerns for the Australian batsman. Justin Langer taking a fearsome blow, really, on his elbow. Matthew Hayden taking a clanger on the helmet. Matthew Hoggart not bowling quite so well as he might, finding some swing but struggling with his line to the left-handers. And Stephen Harmison working up a fair degree of steam. Very tense morning for the England players. You could sense it out there actually before the start of play. All the expectation, build up to this series has been going on now for a good 12 months or more. Lots of talk in the press, and now the moment of truth. Michael Slater's with me. The 2 Australian batsmen have looked as though they've tried to dominate in the first half hour. It's not been easy for them, though.
No, well, you talk about the pressure and the nerves in the English side. Well, the same applies for Australia. There is so much hype and expectation coming here to Lords, the home of cricket, for the touring side. And so I think we've seen some big shots from Justin Langer, a few lucky plays and misses, and that simply is nerves.
Nothing nervous about that, though. That is a beautiful cover drive from Langer. It was in the slot, but his footwork was precise.
The nerves now will just be starting to dissipate, and when you get a half volley, you've got to put it away. That's right in the Justin Langer zone. What we've seen over the years from Justin Langer, he came into this side late in the Ashes Tour 2001, and he's turned himself into a real aggressive opening batsman. prior to that, he was a little bit of an accumulator, nicker and nudger, a bit like you, Athers. And he's been able to turn himself into this real dominant, aggressive style.
Take long for the first sledge of the morning to come from Slater's lips. I think that cover drive will have given him confidence, though, because he's tried to play a couple so far in this short session of play that we've had that haven't been quite there to drive. It's almost as though he's been keen to get one of those shots away, and now he's got one away. Settle him. 18 to him, 11 to Hayden. Good start this for Australia. To hurry. Ooh. Got the dive out in the end, but it was certainly very tight.
As has just been mentioned, Langer and Hayden have been together for a long time, and most prolific opening partnership for Australia, and normally good communication. Justin Langer, he's got those legs going, and he's going to be short of his mark. That's a big risk. Direct hit, he's gone, and I think once again that's the Lord's experience taking over. It's the nerves, the adrenaline. You're trying to get in with your opening partner, work with him, and a lot of the time you're here, you're very much trying to divulge yourself in the opening partnership, take the pressure off yourself as an individual, and look at the partnership building slowly.
Leg side again from Hoggard. This has been his problem in this first half hour of play. Give Michael Vaughan one or two problems, but he'll be wanting to get Andrew Flintoff into the attack, I think, because Flintoff is his most consistent bowler. Flintoff bowls well at left-handers, especially from around the wicket. But on the other hand, there is a little bit of swing for Matthew Hoggard, and if he can get his line right, then he should create some problems for the two left-handers. So far, he hasn't got that line right. Take a look at Matthew Hoggard's last over from Hawkeye. And it just shows that one delivery down the leg side. The third ball is the one that will give him concern. And he's bowled a few of those so far. 3.3 overs. And I reckon he's bowled half a dozen deliveries down the leg side to these two left-handers. Doesn't want to waste this new ball. Matthew Hoggard made some really unwise statements prior to this game, actually, in the press. Talking about the age of McGrath and Warne, that he thought they were over the hill, past it. And I think it's just loaded a bit of pressure on himself, and that's not what you want to be doing as a player prior to an Ashes Test match. It's gone fine. Stephen Harmison is quite wide at fine leg. Good stop. Dive from Harmison. Umpire, I'm sure, will radio through to the third umpire to have a look.
Harmison's standing fairly square there at fine leg, simply because they're hedging bets. That Justin Langer, if he's just running it off his hip, gets the ball very fine. And I suppose that Michael Vaughan is thinking for top edge pull shot. He's probably going to go a little squarer. It's a great effort from the big man. And looks to me like he has saved that. For those of you who don't know, any part of his body hitting or touching the rope as he makes contact with the ball means it's 4. Scrounging effort there. I think he saved it.
Swinging in, and it's too good for Matthew Hayden. Finally, Hoggard gets it right.
Well, it seems like he's just about got rid of his nerves as well, and this wicket will help him along the way. It was the swing that did Matthew Hayden and the aggressive nature of the stroke which allowed the ball just to sneak between bat and pad. There might have been a little bit of an inside edge. No, back pad onto the stumps, and first scalp in this test match goes to Hoggard. England fans here are up. Matthew Hayden, it's a long walk off. He's gone for 12, 35 for 1.
Ricky Ponting, Australia's captain, walks to the crease at number 3 after the fall of Matthew Hayden. Terrific record at Lord's, Ponting as a player. Never lost a match here. Applause for Hoggard, who's got the breakthrough.
And already you can see Harmison, well, he's grown another leg. I mean, that first wicket, there's the wicket taker, Hoggard. Watch the movement of the ball through the air. And Matthew Hayden caught on the hop. He's got into the habit at the moment, playing his shots on the run a little bit. But very hard when the ball's coming back in at you. If it had ricocheted and missed the stumps, there was a strong chance it was going to be given out LBW. Not to be overlooked was the fielding of Harmison down at fine leg. He kept it to 3. If that had rolled into the fence, that meant Langer was on strike. So a good contribution from Stephen Harmison, and great effort in the field has allowed Hoggard to strike Hayden. 35 for 1. It was important for England to get an early breakthrough and expose Ponting to the new ball.
Hayden's desire to dominate as well, the new ball that created that opening for Hoggard, because it wasn't a rank half volley, it wasn't a drivable ball. If you're thinking as an opening batsman, the new ball's been swinging, you've seen it swinging, you're not really thinking drive unless it's a real full half volley, which this one wasn't. Hayden wants to dominate, wants to get on top of Hoggard early on, and that's created the gap between bat and pad because he's driving, not defending. He's done well, Justin Langer, hasn't he, Slats? Because he's only joined the Australian team a couple of weeks ago, wasn't part of the one-day series, had just one knock at Leicestershire. She got 100. It's not much preparation before an Ashes Test match, and he's immediately looked quite settled in this innings. Standing deep in the crease for Harmison. Maybe that's a measure of Harmison's pace. Lovely drive again, not a half volley by any means, but Langer, as Michael Slater said, is no longer the accumulator, he's the aggressor as well.
And the secret to his game now is just this 100% commitment. He sees the ball and there is no hesitation. The head is still, so the balance is good. And it's been just brilliant to see him develop over the last 3 years and change his game and create this confidence that he just runs with. This is his 89th Test match, first time at Lord's, so this is a huge occasion and he wants to get his name on that honours board. It's a long way off it, but he's looking good at this stage. 39 for 1.
And crucially, it brings Ricky Ponting to the crease. Well, the ball's still new. Ponting, who looked out of sorts himself for a lot of the one-day series, but then the last 2 games, he looked back to his best. Got 100 at Leicester in the preparation match, first-class match before this test. So he'll be feeling confident, but Michael Vaughan on the attack. Very aggressive field set by Vaughan to Ponting. He's got the 3 orthodox slips and then a man at 4th or 5th slip who is very, very close. This man is a good 2 or 3 yards closer than he might be, and a short leg as well, because Vaughan knows that Ponting will look to get forward. Oh, down! That man that we've just pointed out, Kevin Peterson, who was a good 2 or 3 yards closer than he might have been. Had he been back in an orthodox position, that might have been an easier chance.
The more nervous Ricky Ponting is, the harder he goes at the ball. It's the hands. He goes hard through the shot, and he's opened up the face, and that was a big opportunity for Peterson. It's gone hard, it's gone low to his left, but you've got to take those. You really have. He's a good fieldsman, and an opportunity goes begging.
Big break that for the Australian captain. It's the drive from Ponting, going hard at the ball. Some late movement from Hoggard and a very... well, he should have caught that. Going to his left, and he is close, but he'd be disappointed not to have caught that. Shows how close he is, actually, that angle from side on.
A good captaincy from Michael Vaughan. It would have been brilliant. I mean, it was almost the next ball, the ball has come to him, but unusual that he's so far in front of the 3 slips fieldsmen and the second gully, who's standing back quite deep. And the man who's standing a little bit further back is more there for the cut shot, and Peterson is there for the miscued drive. Down she goes.
Not sure whether that was the in-swinger from Hoggard, but Ponting certainly seemed in 2 minds there.
Well, Athers, I think the improvement we saw in Ricky Ponting's last 2 one-day knocks, that he was playing more with the full face and down the ground, and on that occasion you see the bat coming in at the angle, angling to the onside to a straight delivery. That's the mistake he was making prior to those successful one-day innings, and it's probably just nerves once again.
Off the mark. That's the area that England will need to avoid with Ponting. He's a very, very good player off his legs. If you've just joined us, Ricky Ponting won the toss this morning, elected to bat, and we've had a fascinating first 10 overs. Matthew Hoggard getting the breakthrough, bowling Matthew Hayden through the gate. Justin Langers looks settled, although he's taken a blow to the elbow. And Ricky Ponting has been dropped by Kevin Peterson at a kind of close 4th or 5th slip. Ten overs gone, 43 for 1. Langer 26, Ponting has just got off the mark with 3. Hayden the man to go for 12. It's super slow-mo. We see it on the router first. Sloppy delivery from Harmison. Take a look at Foresight's view of the dismissal of Matthew Hayden. This is our ultra slow-mo camera, if you like. Talked before this test match, Slats, didn't he, Justin Langer, about the fact that he spent a lot of time on the bowling machine practicing his pull stroke, that it's a shot that he hasn't played so much over the last year or two, but he felt that Harmison and Flintoff were going to really test him out with some short stuff, and he's been practicing that pull stroke against the bowling machine.
Yeah, and it's a smart move. I think he realises that he just hasn't had the opportunity. He's always been strong, square of the wicket both sides. But to drill yourself specifically when you know you're going to get a lot of short deliveries is smart play. And that one just flicked to the onside. A foolish ball from Harmison. He works so hard at his game, Justin Langer. Would face or hit more deliveries in practice than any other of the top 6 or top 7. And what he's discovered in the last couple of years is the mental side. He does a lot of yoga, he does a lot of meditation. And he's hugely into his fitness.
Back, has he, since he got back into the Australian team?
What are you alluding to? Well, I helped him out there. He really is an amazing player, and I love watching him play.
Wow. That's the second time this morning that Harmison has... Well, that's cut the Australian captain. Hayden took one straight on the helmet. Ponting, I think the ball has snuck through that gap between the grill and the peak of the helmet, and he's in trouble here.
That looks to me straight up that he needs stitches. It looks like it's cut him. It's the grill that's come back onto his face, and it looks like it's gaping a good 2 or 3 millimetres. Not sure that the butterfly plaster is going to work. Ricky Ponting will just want a bandage on there. Keep it together. That's the second Australian batsman. That's hit him flush, hit him hard. That's the hostility of Harmison and why he's been so good in this England attack. It's a big hit.
He was very late on that, wasn't he? Whether it was a late decision to play the stroke or whether it's just Harmison bowling very fast, I'm not sure, but you can see the cut there and the bump that's come up. Let's hope he's okay.
Well, let's hope it's just a bit of a wound and not a broken cheekbone, because that is a serious injury that would require him to go off and, you know, if it's bad enough, get wide up. So he's a tough campaigner, captain of this side now, and so he will want to stay out there and lead from the front.
Okay, well, while Errol Olcott's looking at Ricky Ponting, the players will take their drinks break, and we'll be back shortly after that. Players have just finished drinks. Ricky Ponting, the Australian captain, is still getting treatment. This is what happened earlier in the day. Ponting won the toss, decided to bat. Justin Langer took a big blow on the elbow, second ball. Matthew Hayden took one on the helmet from Harmison as well, going for the hook stroke. Justin Langer then settled in and played quite nicely. That was the best of his strokes, the cover drive through the offside, and then Matthew Hoggard striking. When England needed the breakthrough, he got one and snuck one through the defences of Matthew Hayden. Ricky Ponting, before he'd scored, was dropped by Kevin Peterson at 5th slip, and just before you left us was hit by Harmison. The ball, I think, either snuck through the gap. We're not quite sure whether it's the ball sneaking through the grill, a gap between the grill and the peak, or whether it's the grill that has cut his cheek. We hope he's okay. He's still getting treatment from the Australian physio, Errol Olcott, and that's where we are. 49 for 1. Hostile Harmison, 5.4 overs, none for 25. Quite expensive, but he's been hostile and he's shaken up one or two of the Australian batsmen. And it's Matthew Hoggard who's got the breakthrough at the other end.
Another look at that very full-on hit, and it looks like the grill has actually come back into the cheekbone. And only a cut. And imagine if there wasn't that grill and the helmet. We've had a few delays. First one, Errol Olcott, the Australian team physio, has been extremely busy, and let me tell you, it's a long walk from their visitors' change room out to the middle. He came out for Langer earlier and the spray on his elbow. Now Ricky Ponting. It's the reason that we're in the 11th over, and there's almost an hour up. Here's a look at the delivery on Hawkeye. It was released at 87.1 mile an hour, and when it got to Ricky Ponting, it struck him on the grill at 67.9 miles an hour. And that might surprise you, but there's a lot of energy lost as the ball makes contact with the pitch. And I suppose your comparison is, you know, imagine driving a car at 60 miles an hour. That gives you a perspective of the speed and that coming into your face. He's so strong off his back foot, all his back foot play, Ricky Ponting. He's strong off the front foot as well, but a lot of bowlers around the world would say he's the strongest at the pull shot and hook shot. And to me, this is probably just nerves, making a little hesitant there for a fraction of a second. He's very late on that. That's not the normal Ricky Ponting you see, and that's just early in his innings here at Lord's, and he's not quite as committed as he should be.
Testament to how quickly Harmison is bowling, and he's an uncomfortable bowler to face. That bounce, height, pace. Single from Ponting, bringing up the half-century. It's been all action. Half-century coming in just 10.5 overs, a wicket as well. Errol Olcott called out 3 times, 2 for blows to the helmet and 1 to Justin Langer's elbow. So the first hour or so has had everything the spectators might have hoped for. And a style over from Harmison. 11 gone. 50 for 1 is the score. Harmison has bowled 6 overs for 26. Hoggard has the wicket, 1 for 23 off 5. That's the man to go. Matthew Hayden, bowled by Matthew Hoggard for 12. It's 50 for 1. Just about to start the 12th, and to talk you through the next half hour will be Mark Nicholas, and with him, a welcome to Channel 4 for Tony Greig.
Thanks, Michael. A little bit more cloud cover than was predicted, and that is to England's advantage. It was a toss you had to choose to bat when you won it, but I must admit I think this little change in the weather has encouraged some movement both off the surface and in the air. Ricky Ponting is ready, but boy, it took some time to get him ready. And it is a warm welcome to Tony Greig.
Thank you, Mark, and yes, it's certainly been a very, very interesting morning session so far. 50 for 1, only 11 overs bowled in the period so far, and we've seen some very flirty shots played by quite nervous Australian batsmen. We've seen some ordinary bowling at times, and we've seen some good bowling. So I think everyone finding their way just a little bit at the moment. The scrap has begun.
Yes, it's like the sort of first part of a boxing fight where there are some jabs going in. Nothing's having any detrimental effect to the opponent, but everybody's just feeling a little bit. batsmen have had some physical blows as well as some play and misses. There's been some fantastic strokes played. Justin Langer's hit a couple of square drives right at the top of the ball's bounce, which is a difficult thing to do. He's been short of match practice, but used the game against Leicestershire last week very effectively. Oh, well, that's a bob each way, that appeal.
Yes, I think they were perhaps shouting for a little inside edge onto the pad. That one seemed to me to just nip back a little bit. He's looking for a bit of outswing, and that seemed to go up the hill a little bit. Yeah, just off the seam a bit there, and very, very close to the gloves as it then thundered into the midriff and out into the gully. Close call for Ponting. Not looking that comfortable.
England's plan to Ponting is to get the ball going away from him from just outside off stump, maybe 3 inches outside off stump, and occasionally to try to nip the ball back off the seam. What they're trying to avoid doing is bowling too straight. He's an awesome leg side player. He found form in the one-day internationals and then in that same game that Langer did well in up at Leicester.
Yes, he's definitely one of the best players of the pull shot in world cricket, but today he played a shot that I've never seen him play before. Yes, the ball that hit him on the crash helmet and opened up his cheek. Ponting, it's so unlike Ponting. I mean, if you've watched him over the years, one thing that he does extremely well, and that is that he commits himself to short deliveries, plays the hook shot, and just gets on with it. Either that or very early on he goes under the ball. Not very often. This is a bit of each. I've never seen Ricky Ponting do that. And the other thing there that's quite interesting is that crash helmet of his is very loose.
That's the over.
It's 51 for 1. That's the area you don't want to bowl to Ricky Ponting. He'll pick you off middle and leg stump all day long.
Yes, you did right. He's extremely strong in this area. He's looking for this all the time. Didn't quite get as much bat on that one as he would have liked, but it's 4 anyhow. Seemed nice and upright. The line is wrong. Harmison has got to get that ball on and just outside off stump. 3 slips, 2 gullies. All his fieldsmen are in that area. That's where he's got to bowl.
Such expectation here. Absolute full house. You haven't been able to get a ticket for love nor money. They've been selling on eBay for exorbitant sums. And the place really does look a picture. Other than the fact that it's not a bright blue sky, you couldn't imagine a cricket ground looking more lovely than Lord's does today. And you couldn't imagine the cricket being any more compulsive. I think there's been a lot of heat on the players in the build-up to the game. I think they will have felt it just as much as all of us who have been waiting for it to begin and are now reveling in the moment. No matter how often you play, Greggy will tell you still get those jitters on the morning of a game. Even John McCririck would have them.
Oh yes, there's no doubt about that, and this Ashes battle, perhaps more so than some of the other recent battle for this Ashes trophy, has just had something extra special because England are starting to put a side together. They've got some young players here who don't carry too many scars. They look pretty fresh-faced, and they're not intimidated by this Australian team, so we could have a good series.
That's lovely cricket. By heaven, that's a good ball from Stephen Harmison.
That's where he's got a bowl, and it was well taken as well. Strauss in there at third slip. It was one of those that was, well, around about waist high. It's the sort of catch that you want to take if you're going to win a series. This is the place to bowl, just outside off stump. There it goes, flying off the edge, and straight into those hands. Boy, very, very happy with that. So Strauss taking the catch, Harmison taking the wicket.
At an important time too. Ponting has gone for 9 after a blow to the head. 55 for 2, the Australians. Ricky Ponting has gone. Damien Martyn has arrived at the wicket. Vastly experienced and measured, organised, and extremely good player these days. England have 2 gullies in place, no surprise there, and a third man. That's where he's been caught out in some of the one-dayers. Here comes Harmison.
Yes.
And that's nicely done. Martyn into position, up onto his toes, and in control with his first scoring stroke.
Yes,
He's one of the most elegant players in world cricket. If he has a good day, Damien Martyn, it's very good to watch. 57 for 2, so England going well here. This is the Harmison wicket again. A very good delivery, may have just held up a little bit. It went flying to third slip. Andrew Strauss made the catch, and boy, the celebration then began. That's important wicket.
The point is that previously Hayden and Ponting have been great aggressors, almost bullies of England, with the way that they've taken them on the first day, even the first session of test matches. So purely from a psychological point of view, England will feel that those 2 wickets mean perhaps more to them than the wickets of Langer and Martyn. Now's the time to focus and make good that early advantage. There is something in this surface, just a touch off the seam and a touch in the air to keep the bowler very encouraged.
Yeah, that's right, and so there should be on the first morning of a test match. There should be just a little bit there for the seam bowlers. After all, there's going to be a bit there for the spinners at the end of the match, and all they've got to do now is maintain a good length and line. I must say that I think that they could have perhaps done a little bit better in that department, but they seem to be settling down now, this England opening partnership.
Oh, he is very good if he's given any width. Where he's improved is that his scoring range is so much better than it used to be. He used to have to wait for rank bad balls to hit boundaries. These days he can score off just about anything if he's in the mood.
You're right, he used to be a blocker. He's no blocker anymore, and one gets the feeling that he's determined to get into the one-day side. He really is playing some shots, and he has done for a couple of years now. Very successfully. That's an example.
Pretty quick outfield. Very dry in England in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been pretty dry in England all year. And the groundsman here, Nick Hunt, has got it cut pretty low, so there's plenty of opportunities for boundaries. The pitch is almost dead centre, really, of the playing area, and it'll always run away fast towards us as we look at that picture. That is the hill coming down towards us from that angle as we look from left to right and up to the media centre, that marvellous, almost spaceship-like building. And Langer in good position to play that little push. High elbow and everything behind the ball. And he gets 3 for a little bit of defending.
Yes, he really ran those very hard. That one was up the hill. That could have been quite close, actually. A direct hit there might have had him seriously stretching. On a couple of occasions now, Langer has made calls which could have resulted in run-outs.
Just gone to 1,000 runs against England at an extraordinary average, virtually 60. I wonder how close that was to a run out, actually. Langer got his skates on over the last, I should think, 4 or 5 strides here. It was the relay job, and then the thing comes in low and flat. The first half of his journey, he didn't think he was struggling. A direct hit would have had him struggling. I think that's one of those exaggerated things by the camera. The batsman can judge the angle and direction of the throw better than we can from here. I think Langer knew he was safe. Here's Martin on strike.
That's over.
So 66 for 2 on what is turning out to be, well, it's just a little bit overcast. There's been some sun around this morning, but the England bowlers will be hoping that it stays this way, nice and overcast. From Australia's point of view, Hayden and Ponting back in the pavilion, 12 and 9. Langer battling away. He's been a bit lucky, but he's got 40 or 40 deliveries. The big difference in Justin Langer. He scores his runs at a run a ball these days in Test match cricket. And he's out there with Martin.
Here's a moment for Andrew Flintoff. The first time that he plays against Australia in a Test match. He has been eager to be a part of the Ashes for a long time. Various things, mainly injury, have obstructed his ambition, but now it's realised. And he'll come from the nursery, from the pavilion end, I should say, where historically there's a little bit more bounce. There's an area where some players would claim there's a ridge just short of a good length, and the ball carries through a bit better. I'm sure that's the area that Harmison used to get rid of Ponting just an over or so ago. And it's an area that Flintoff will target. A lot of people, Richie Beno, Geoffrey Boycott amongst them, feel that he's England's best bowler in many ways. He's certainly England's most consistent bowler. He's immensely strong and can wear up a fair head of steam. 3 slips, a gully, a square cover, a mid-off, forward short leg, a square leg and a long leg the field.
Yes, well, the important thing here is that Flintoff maintains some of the pressure. It's nice to get your opening bowlers away, both getting a wicket, and then your first change bowlers need to come on, and they need to keep things nice and tight. They need to continue to bowl, obviously, that attacking line. Lovely for the captain to have 3 slips in there and a gully. He wants to be able to maintain those for as long as he can, so it's important now that Flintoff bowls well, and indeed Jones bowls well.
Simon Jones, the bowler not used thus far by Michael Vaughan. England's attack ideally has Harmison and Flintoff from the pavilion end, where you get a bit of extra bounce, and Jones and Hoggard with the outswingers operating with the slope helping that outswinger from the nursery end.
Yes, well, I'm sure that he's thinking at the moment, right, this first over, I'm going to get it bang on length and line. On that off stump, perhaps just outside, make sure I get the length right, don't try and do anything too dramatic, and then build up from there. Got a forward short leg in position as well, just in case he gets one off the inside edge and it pops up. It's a good field for him.
High in the air and will be caught, must be caught, is caught! Justin Langer has gone. Freddie Flintoff has his first Ashes wicket, and what a wicket it is. Look at the joy. Listen to the celebration around Lords. 3 down, Australia.
Very well bowled, a very good bounce up, and interesting to see Justin Langer going after it, but really all he succeeded in doing here, it's a bit quick for him, I think. It hit the splice of the bat, it's gone straight up in the air, and this was never going to be dropped. Down it came and got him, and boy, the celebration starts here. So Flintoff has got off to a fantastic start, 63 for 3.
Michael Clarke, Pup they call him, a prodigious, precocious, outrageous talent. 24 years old, comes to Lord's for his first Test match here without many runs in England. Andrew Flintoff is the bowler. Plays the first ball beautifully, into position, nice and positive. Boy, this is exciting.
Yes, it certainly is. Let's have another look at the wicket. Good delivery, this one. Short delivery just outside the off stump onto the splice of the bat. Harmison in position, and that's the catch. So that's the end of Langer.
Tell you what, Tony, the side-on replay is an interesting one, because Andrew Flintoff is flirting with the front line. Umpire Alim Dar down at the pavilion end. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Goodness me, that's just nerves. There was a single there for Clarke to get off the mark. That is just nerves. And the crowd know it. They got onto him. There's applause for Flintoff. Can't over-exaggerate really the atmosphere in this ground.
Oh no, they're loving every moment of this. This is a great start. Let's have a look at that front foot. Let's see where it comes down. Yes, well, around about the line there, certainly flirting with the front line. All that really matters is that the catch was taken. This is the delivery again. Seam bolt upright, just outside off stump. Good line, actually. And Flintoff was celebrating before the catch was taken. I think he probably knew this was pretty straightforward. Oh, yes, a double celebration.
That's dead right, isn't it? It suddenly dawned on him, oh, God, he might drop it. It's a good little innings from Justin Langer. The balance of power shifted suddenly. 15 overs gone, 66 for 3. Simon Jones into the attack. Gone! Simon Jones strikes first up. Damien Martin is caught at the wicket. Australia didn't take that single off the last ball of the previous over. Have they paid for the confusion?
That was a magnificent delivery. Fast, beautiful line, bit of bounce there as well. The right place to bowl to Damien Martin early on. And he tried to play what was a pretty flirty back foot drive here. Thick edge, just watch this. Thick edge, and away she goes. Beautiful bowling.
Extra bounce and enough shape away from the bat. Martin with his hands away from his body, not really having control of that stroke so early in the innings. He's gone for a couple, 66 for 4. lest anybody wondered about England's capacity to compete with Australia. Their newfound confidence and ability is confirmed by the scoreline. 66 for 4. Simon Katic has taken gun. An unsung sort of cricketer. A really good start from Simon Jones. Katic and Clark at the wicket. New South Wales versus England. The Blues against the blue, the Reds and the Whites, the Lions. That is the end of Damien Martyn.
Yeah, you could see the bounce there. That was a quick delivery and a fair bit of bounce, beautifully bowled. What a start for Jones. So he's got a wicket straight away, and his first ball, I've got to tell you, to Katic was a good one too.
One of the great things about Simon Katic is he goes about his business in a very uncomplicated way. If you're looking for someone for a crisis, particularly someone who's got the hunger for a crisis and the hunger for a place in this side, he's probably a man.
Yes, he's a solid player, you're dead right, and a hungry player. He's not had many opportunities in this Australian team. Great opportunity for him here. There they are. Don't those figures look fantastic? All of them have got a wicket. 67 for 4. Having lost the toss, Australia chose to bat first.
Now Michael Clark's away, and the ball will run for 4. We talked about that slope at Lords, and it runs down that slope very quickly.
So I think you might want another man in that area. The honeymoon's over for Michael Clark. He's a very talented young man, played some very good cricket right from the word go in his career, but there comes a time when the opposition starts to work you out a little bit. There comes a time when you go through your first little bad run, and that's around about now for him, and you've got to climb out of it. Big challenge. So you can see there his figures in 2005, not that impressive.
No, there's been a little bit of chat about the possibility of Brad Hodge being brought into the side, actually, instead of Clark. He has had a difficult time here, a difficult time playing for Hampshire last summer too. English conditions have possibly exposed him a bit, actually. He's a naturally free stroke player, and sometimes a tighter defensive technique is needed when the ball just nips a bit off the seam, swings a bit in the air. And of course it's just a little bad phase of form. I mean, the form he was in going back to last October and November, he'd have coped far better with the conditions here.
That's the over.
Good start by Jones. 4 have gone today. Ricky Ponting won the toss. He chose to bat. Hayden. Good in-swinger from Matthew Hoggard. Ponting. A jaffer from Steve Harmison. Langer. Bounced out. And Martyn. Really good one first up from Simon Jones.
Yes, some very good bowling, no doubt about that. And so the Australians in trouble. Mind you, Gilchrist is still to come. And no matter who you are, he's a worry. Yes, there he is.
We spend a lot of time talking about the influence of Adam Gilchrist, but also about the fact that he comes in situations like this. Not the first time we've seen Australia 4 down for 70, 80, 90, 5 down. Not many sides in the world at the moment have got the depth in their attack that England have got, and that's their best chance. Fresher bowlers, a newer ball, and make life difficult for Gilchrist rather than against weaker bowlers and an older ball.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I don't think it's going to make too much difference to him, though. I think he only knows one way.
Ready?
Wonderful aggressive approach to batting. I suspect if I was one of 2 captains and I was allowed to pick it from anyone in the world, and I got first pick, coin came down and they said, okay, you got first pick, I think he'd be my man.
I'll run with that. His scores in Test cricket of late: 60 not out, 162, 121 and 113. That's his last 4 knocks. He's just averaging 152. Anyway, he's next. It's Simon Kadich that's on strike. And this time a no ball is called. We've mentioned that Flintoff is flirting with that front line. There have been a fair few no balls actually from both teams during the one-day series.
Yes, he wants to get back a bit. Now that he's caught him, he'll just keep a very close eye on that front line. Right, this is interesting. Flintoff has decided very early on here to go around the wicket. So the angle will change here for Kadich. They're maintaining 3 slips and 2 gullies. Since forward short leg in there. Harmison is in the same place he caught Justin Langer, just behind square. And there's a man down on the boundary at fine leg as well.
It's up at nearly 90 mph for Andrew Flintoff. 89 to be exact. So he's accurate. The seam's in a great position, bolt upright, and he's got strength and pace. Absolutely sure, Tony, why Flintoff would have wanted to go round the wicket to Kadich. It's certainly a tactic that England will employ to Adam Gilchrist.
Yes, they've obviously got a plan of some sort. They must have, because in the normal course of events, the sensible thing to do is to stay over the wicket to the left-hander and use the angle across him. Certainly for quite a while before you go around the wicket. Yeah, he's back over the wicket now to the right-hander. Clark hasn't been there for long. He's got 4. Kadich 2. 73 for 4. Good bouncer, and well played too. Right underneath that one. It was dead straight and pretty fast. Just watch this. Watch the reaction of the batsman here. Going to move fast. If you're going to bowl them, that's the place to bowl them.
You're a lick-lipper when you see it whizzing round through people's ears, aren't you?
Oh, I love it. I love it, especially Australians' ears.
He looks good, does Flintoff. 73 for 4 is the score.